So how long have you been at South Essex?
So I joined in February this year, so it felt like forever sort of getting on board. I was doing some consulting before I came along, but joined fully in February, and it's obviously an interesting time to join, having a couple of months in the office, and then everything went a little bit pear-shaped, as we know.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you find that process? Because obviously joining any new firm is great, fun, exciting, and that's sort of been taken away by COVID.
To be fair, no, it's probably added to it in some ways. It sounds a bit bizarre, but I think you learn more about any business and yourself a little bit as well in a time of difficulty. And I think it would have been quite a simple transition into a fairly understandable business in SEIB. But I think it was so much easier, I guess, to learn about the challenges and the things that we really faced by seeing it in a point of, I guess, real change and in the significant issues that businesses just never faced and weren't prepared for. So I think those first few weeks were a little bit reactive, I guess. We did everything we possibly could to ultimately to be able to service our customers. That was the real challenge for us, but we weren't set up for people to work at home. I think we only had a handful of laptops. There's 130 people now in the SEIB business. And across those, we literally had a handful of laptops, a handful of mobile phones. We're heavily reliant on inbound telephone traffic into our sales teams and our servicing teams. Within the space of a week, we'd turn around where we had about 60% of the business up and running and live, and over time more and more and more. And until the most recent announcements, we were getting pretty much all of our customer-facing teams back in the office. And I think we're now dispersed again, as you'd expect, and our non-customer facing teams are based at home. And we've just been, we've learned a lot about our business and learned a lot about ourselves through that time. But, the teamwork, the morale, the energy in the business has been second to none. And I think that's been the thing that you've seen in the really good businesses. And we've seen lots of those out there that have really, really sort of mucked in and just grafted through it. And I think it's taken real hard work. It's taken leadership as well, which we've had, and that's been great. And we just had to make some calls and run with it a little bit. And I think it's we've learned a lot about ourselves, and actually the results have been really, really solid through that time, to a point now where we find ourselves at I was going to say the back end of it, but obviously we're not into the sort of next stage of it, where we find ourselves recruiting and bringing new bodies on board, which is tremendous, really, given where we thought we might be in March.
That is